Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda.
All right, good evening, guys. Live from the ranch. Something different. Yeah. Reason being, guys, is we've actually got a bit better service up here to get a couple of computers on. And also, guys, let's have a chat, man, because I tell you, I've still got it. I've lost a heap of weight. I'm down 6 kilos. I ended up with pleurisy and influenza. No, was it?
Pleurisy and pneumonia.
Pneumonia. So I've been bedridden, guys. I can't even burp without pain. I'm better now. I've been very lucky. Probably 16, 15 years since I've touched an antibiotic. And I'm just going to say to you guys, I had to go, it's not like me. But I tell you what, I had to get one. I had to get a couple of strong ones to get me back on board.
Otherwise, you would have ended up in a hospital.
Otherwise, I would have ended up in a hospital ward, guys. And you know what could have happened from there? So it's been quite an interesting time, guys. I've been crook as a dog, man. And so let's get on to what could be going on there, eh? Because I don't know. But with the rest of the world, drinking water, guys, PFAS. Now, PFAS have got nothing to do with the poisoning that Sydney water's doing. PFAS, as we know, are forever chemicals that are running off, or running into our water systems, okay? So, they're telling you that we're up to 16.4. We're supposed to have 4 parts per million. We're up to 16.4 parts per million in our Sydney water supply. Now, that's 4 times the allowable rate, guys. I don't believe their figures anyway. Now, that's only the PFAS. What about the fluoride, the chloride, and all the other chemicals that they're using, all right, in the mix, all right, at our water treatment plant, not water treatment plants, but yeah, Sydney water drinking plants. So, guys, there's a lot going on. I think we have to put a bit of pressure on these guys, because what they're doing is they're telling everyone that, it's poisoned with PFAS, but yeah, it's all right, you can drink it. And I'm telling you, the bars out there are going to drink it. It's as simple as that. That's what's going to happen. They're just being told it's poison. And I can tell you right now, they're still going to go and turn their tap on. It's all over the mainstream news. All over it. All right? Okay, I shouldn't have been doing this, guys, but anyway. So they also mentioned food in the article, and I thought that was he made a sly little comment at the end about, well, what about what's going on with our food? So I think it was her actually, but anyway, it was on Channel 7 News. I think I was watching after the I've been trying to keep up with what these idiots are doing at the moment. But yeah, he even made the comment that we're getting poison in food, or she did. So you can't tell me that these people aren't hearing the subliminal messages. Okay? But no one's paying attention, guys. We've still got people out there masked up. All right? We've still got people out there don't care. All right? It's just unreal. Absolutely unreal. So we've had the metro start up in that's the other thing I want to say, guys. The metro, right? This new system that's running up in Sydney. Heaps of people are on it. It's part of our 15-minute cities, and everyone's run to it, guys. They have absolutely run for it. All right, you couldn't have more people on there. It's just unreal. All right, they'll be loving it. They'll be making millions. They'll be making millions through what? Opal cards and the digital ID. If you haven't got the digital ID, you won't get the Opal card. You haven't got the Opal card, you won't be traveling. I haven't got an Opal card. I can't travel on trains and that. Now, two people, just be careful. Anyone fishing out there, guys, we've lost another two down at Kiama this morning. Father and son. They went down at 5:30 or something, or to whatever, I don't know, sometime in the morning. They hadn't come home by X amount of time. They can't be found. Their fishing gear's on the rocks, guys. You got to understand. These people don't understand. We had a moon last night, a super moon, if that's what they want to call it. You know what I mean? You've got to understand that this is not the time to go playing at the friggin' rock edge in the dark with a southerly swell belting up the coast and a full moon and extremely high tide. So again, we've got to take, don't ever turn your back on nature, guys. Any of yous, all right? Because it will take you out. She doesn't care, all right? She just doesn't care. So I really feel sorry for them good people. Now, Putin, I've heard is, and I haven't seen anything, guys, for a few days. If you want to go and check my Twitter handle and that, I haven't even been on any. I brought no computers up here, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. I just had to, right, just try and get myself healthy, okay? But, Putin's opened the doors for anyone, anybody, all right? Come on over. Come on over to Russia, he said. Come and settle in. This guy's the terrorist of the world, is he? Joe Biden, I went on to, for a little bit today, I thought, all right, that's DNC thing's on. So I grabbed the phone today because we brought everything up here today. And we didn't have it here yesterday. And anyway, I had a phone and I've got into the DNC and I started making comments. And I started putting down, hey, Joe, you died like 6 years ago or something, mate. What are you doing up there? Bang. You've been warned by the moderator. I thought, this is interesting. Hey, Joe, you're a wanker. What are you doing on stage? You're not even alive. Boom, warned by the moderator. Made another comment, bang, gone. The green screen work was absolutely incredible from what I saw, guys. All right, this is, they're not worrying about monkeypox. That's right, Russia. All right, but this is what they're doing, guys. They are ramping it up. Joe Biden is just like, or whoever's, up there playing at the moment, is Joe Biden is just absolutely incredible. All right, so they're going to push it, guys. They've tripled down. They're about to quadruple down. I haven't seen anything on American news. I will have a look, probably tomorrow and see what is going on. But, I imagine, guys, that things are really going to heat up, all right? I don't know what's happening in Britain and that. As I said, I've been too crook to worry about anything, okay? But the good thing is I'm on the mend, but people be careful. How did I get pneumonia and then, I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, but certainly if I didn't do what I had to do, guys, all right, I would have had to have gone to hospital, and that could not have been a good result. So, welcome back, everyone. All right, I haven't seen, I've been a little bit slack last week, but that's the reason why, guys. Love to give Russia, who wouldn't? I'd love to give Russia a crack. Who's going to do the news show if I fly out to there? I wonder. Anyone going to jump in? Don't know. I'd love to go to Russia. Don't you? I reckon I reckon a couple of us went to Russia that had a little bit of a profile. You'd probably actually get to have a chat with a few people over there. Because, guys, you know, what everyone is seeing, and if we've got any new viewers on here, whatever you're seeing on the television, guys, is absolute crap. Everything's a lie. Everything's upside down, back to front, reversed. So I'll get back into it this week. We'll start and get some news on. All right. But we got to look after ourselves, guys. All right. There's people out there that are now waking up, but they don't know there's any remedies. I've been talking to a few over the last couple of days. And the big problem is they think that because they've had 2 or 3 of these, and when people say they've had 3, I squirm. You know, 2, I don't know, 2 sits with me. Okay, let's get together and help you. 3, I go, wow, turbo cancer, AIDS, this, shingles, that. Which one is it? Because we know that the boosters or the 3rd shot, right, was the Dick Dastardly, you know, definitely carrying what we knew that they wanted to carry. So, yeah, I did a bit of a. I was going to walk down to the footy oval, Craig, and actually get you to Uber me back up if I couldn't make it. Anyway, I got canned on that. Okay. All right, so let's get some guys in here, all right? Because Cazz is here, and we got Frank here from up at the Governor's, and we're going to let them go, and I'm going to go and lay back down because I'm losing my breath already. Unlike me, Frank, not to be able to talk. I was getting rammed up there. So, Frank, take over for Guru. See you tomorrow night, guys. I might do another run in.
Oh, absolutely, mate. How are you, Cazz?
Very good. Thank you for joining us, Franco. We've got heaps of news around about the traps, but let's start off with this water stuff because Dave just touched on it. Let's see a bit of a report.
For the first time, chemicals linked to cancer have been found in the city's water supply. Often called forever chemicals, they've been used for decades to make products resistant to heat, stains, grease and water. Recent results show the levels are within Australia's water guidelines but above US safety thresholds. Our guidelines are now under review. For more, I'm joined by...
Now, you sent these in as well with the basically the cancer chemicals in the city water supply.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also the forever chemicals. So, yeah, nasty situation where you can't. We know the water's bad, we don't drink it, but it's far worse than what we even anticipated.
Well, 4 times the average, you know, is actually quite staggering. But you know, sometimes you've got to look or sort of read between the lines. I mean, are they trying to justify the means? You know, so we've got a lot of people that aren't well at the moment. Turbo cancer's going through the roof. So maybe it's another way of looking at saying, well, it's the water, as opposed to, you know, certain inoculations that were actually distributed a few years back.
It's anything but that. Don't forget that, you know. So yeah, look, we'll move on because we're at 13 past. We've got a fair few to cover. Now we've got Forest of the Fallen in Manly.
We're at Manly again, and light rain has cleared. We're getting a very good reaction from many passers-by who are asking questions. Awareness is coming through more and more with every time we do this. The Forest of the Fallen is a marvellous vehicle for making people realise how dire the results of these injections have been. Stanley Plotkin, the godfather of so-called vaccines, but we should call it injections, has finally admitted that there were no proper placebo tests. So that's become...
We'll leave that there. That's Renegade Rosie and, running that. So that's awesome and doing that video for us. So...
Well, the good thing about that is Rosie called me on Monday and she was heading up to up at Maggie's on Monday. So if you're listening to us this evening, Rosie, thanks once again for doing that. We really appreciate it. And once again, we appreciate the work you're doing down in Manly. It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And she's so consistent at it, Cazz.
I know. That's the thing, isn't it? It's a consistency that, you know, really makes a difference. This is probably... We've got 2 stories here. I'll play them side by side because they're really one after the other because they're quite unusual. You've got your Safety Commissioner, basically, yes, free speech is very important. And then you've got the Victorian Shane Patton, basically police commissioner. And, trust has been lost. Yes, well, let's have a look at that.
Of course, we embrace freedom of expression and the laws and the powers under the Online Safety Act that Parliament bestowed upon me to enforce. Try and strike that right balance. Freedom of expression, absolutely. But when it veers into the lane of online harm and it silences and suppresses the voices of others, then somebody has to draw a line.
And now we've got this.
Cohesion in Victoria perhaps more fragile after the pandemic years, do you think?
I think everything's more fragile after the pandemic years. To have many people, irrespective of age, felt they had their lives stolen for 2.5 years. Any society, it's not just Victorians and Australians, but any society has had its fabric of social cohesion and unity tested as a result of that. What the ramifications are from that, whether it's meant a sense of entitlement or people just focusing on themselves, or I don't know. All I know is that you can't come through a period of time like that where you're basically in isolation and people's lives are tipped upside down. That must change people.
They failed to mention the fact that they fired rubber bullets into peaceful protesters at the shrine. That they were bashing the shit out of people. Like, I mean, social cohesion. You know, and like,
that had no ramifications whatsoever at all. You know, none, zero.
No,
actually, wasn't it a guy burnt himself in the street in Melbourne because he couldn't handle it anymore? I mean, you know, that's how, you know, talk about how far people must go. You know, wow, unbelievable.
The e-safety commissioner Karen, like it shows that these political bureaucrats really are completely and utterly out of touch with we the people, and you know, we the people have a problem with them, with their authoritarian overreach, and you know, like social cohesion, and now they're allowing for a migrant a minute to come in, and then they complain, social cohesion. How are we meant to be socially cohesive when they're basically flooding us with people from different nationalities that do not assimilate easily? Like,
no,
it's
exactly
crazy.
Right. No, absolutely, Cazz. It is crazy, and I mean, and I don't know. Has everyone's town changed somewhat? Mine certainly has. I mean, I've got certain stores that are, you know, bouncing up left, right, and centre, which, you know, part of the smart city, I guess.
Well, the interesting thing is that some people don't actually have to pay any interest rates, so they can get loans very cheaply, or get a lot of money very cheaply, and it helps them in their business endeavours. So, you know, not that I resent that amongst them, because I think that we shouldn't have to pay that either. But, like, how about we just basically have a level playing ground? But that's not what it is. So, look, you've got this guy now. He's come up with he's talking about an interesting take. We've covered it a little bit, but not as much as this guy. He's actually dealing with it from the first hand.
For everyone. Well, this morning, I was just on my way to work. I ran into a park shealer down the street. And she said g'day. She was quite polite. But she did ask me why have I got such a dislike to national parks. Well, that was fairly easy to answer for me anyways. So I told her the first part she got wrong. It's more than a dislike. It's actually a putrid hate. The reason being of just the management, and corruption and so forth. When she turned around, she said, we're only trying to do our job. We're trying to make a living, feed and educate the kids. That's fair enough. But that's also what the cattlemen, the sheepmen, fencers, the trappers, timber cutters, that's all they were trying to do too. Not only did they lose that way of life, Parks come out and tried to burn and erase every little bit of that life. And they continue on that today, as you all well know, with trying to bloody eradicate the Brumby. So I got to thinking about it afterwards, you know, and I watched an old cowboy fella, Dave Edwards, the other night, and he was talking about sharks attacking. How they come up from the bottom and attack their prey. Well, here's a fair notice to national parks and the government. This is what's going to happen with yous. We're the sharks. We're on the bottom and we're coming up, and we're coming up hard and fast. And we're going to take back every bit of this country that's ours, along with our history, tradition and cultures. So prick your ears and listen, because We're on our way up, and yous are the prey. We're coming back. We're taking back what is ours, the Australian people's land and their way of life. Anyway,
it just goes to show that the average Australian is just had an absolute gutful of this government. It's not even a government. It is just an absolute shit show, really.
Mate, I don't know about you, Caz, but I've had an absolute enough. I've had enough. I've had enough of all of it. But what gets me is that, and this is all happening under our noses, and I'm talking to the entire audience capacity. I'm not talking about select few. I'm talking to the entire nation. How much are you prepared to take right now? Because I can tell you now, like, if we don't stand up, Caz, whether we go to a council or rock up at Maggie's or whatever it might be, they're coming at us at 100 miles an hour. But we've become so complicit, you know, and I'm looking for, quite frankly, I want a bit of Aussie mongrel coming back. Now, we don't need to have it with, you know, with Biffo, but oh, Christ, if I have to, I will. But it's not what I want. And I don't mind standing at the front line, but I want people to stand right behind me as well, Caz. And that's our biggest problem. You know, is galvanizing the community to actually, you know, basically get off their asses and get behind us. I mean, you guys are doing this every night, and all of us are doing our every bit. It's the same with the groups. You know, all these groups that are coming on at the moment. And don't get me wrong, and I appreciate it because I get invited to the groups. But unless we stand, there's no point planting tomatoes and dishing out seeds and all the rest of it. Because guess what? Number one, we've already shown that the water is still going to be contaminated. They're spraying us like mosquitoes in the sky. We're getting radiated by every freaking 5G tower known to man, right? So we can build as many communities as we like, but unless we deal with the issue at hand, nothing's going to change, Caz.
Yeah, I get that. And like the thing is too, it doesn't matter. Like they've always, in their own writings, they always knew that their people were going to break off into different civilizations. So they weren't going to worry about them for the time being. They had a long-term plan. So, you know, this is in their own writings. They've been planning it for a couple 100 years, guys. Look, here's the thing. Let's have a look at, I really like this guy, Punches Politics. He does some really good stuff. He's put out something on this at the moment.
Uh-oh. What is it? It's inflation. It's going up. Well, what do you want me to do about it? It says here gas companies are driving up energy prices and corporate monopolies are price gouging, so we could... No. Sunrise told me that it's because punters are spending too much money and maybe their wages or something, so let them raise interest rates. That should sort it out. What did I tell you? Did it work? Kind of. I'm just worried that... Oh. What's that? We're entering a recession. What? Why? Because all the punters gave their money to the bank because your interest rates. I've got an election coming up. Do something. Do it. Oh, that was way too close. Thanks, guys. What now? It's rental prices. They're skyrocketing. We're building more houses. We can't. Why not? We've got a skills shortage. Do it. Is it working? We could make investments in long-term training and skills programs. Oh, come on. Public infrastructure is at capacity and people are angry about the cost of housing, food, transport congestion. Oh, what? Are they blaming me? No, the immigrants. Oh. Well, all right then. Well, we're not gonna...
Wait, punters.
No, we actually blame them both. It's the government bringing them in, and it's the immigrants. They're just looking for a better life. They don't, you know, they just, you can't really blame them. But they are part of the problem, and we see it exactly for what it is. They're not meant to assimilate. They are meant to cause division, and that's certainly being seen across Europe. Frank, what have you got to say on that?
Well, while we pitch tents, Caz, they get houses. Pretty simple,
Yes.
isn't it? You know, and I mean, we've got bridges full of tents. We've got township full of tents. We've got poor mums and dads living out of their vehicle. It's, you know, like speaks for itself, doesn't it? I was in town going into the city and walking past Martin Place, and not too long ago, we had a lot of the homeless barricading themselves. Anyway, they've fenced it all out. So God knows where all the homeless have gone, because there was thousands there. So there you go. Smoke and mirrors.
You've got these really bad situations too. It's like you've got these situations. So 1 in 4 Swedish women will be raped as sexual assault increases 500%. You've got a Danish girl. She's 17, and she used a pepper spray to fight off her rapist near a migrant asylum centre, and she's told she will be prosecuted for carrying the weapon. You've got a whole heap of stabbings going on across London. There were a total of 10 stabbings were reported across the UK in the last 48 hours. 2 more people have been stabbed in Derby, UK. 8 stabbings reported across the UK in 36 hours. UK is releasing 5,000 prisoners to make room for anti-immigration protesters.
Wow.
It's incredible. And then in the UK, you've got this guy now. I think I used to follow him on Twitter. So he's a carer. His name's Wayne O'Rourke, and he's been sentenced to 3 years in prison because of his Twitter posts. And then you've got this situation. This is a 67-year-old pensioner who chanted, "You're not English anymore," at the police during the recent protests in the UK, and he's been jailed for 20 months. So,
you know what they say, coming to a town near you, Caz, it's happening. You know, like if we keep going down the route that we're going right now, it's going to happen here. I mean,
Frank,
it's already
words right out of my mouth. Coming to a town like you, and it's coming quick, guys. And you want to listen to Frank. All right, and I'm all for these groups and everyone coming together, getting communities together. Guys, I've been pushing it. But, hey, it is time to step it up a notch. And that's what you're going to be doing. Anyway, goodbye. I couldn't help that. See ya.
this lady has spoken out about it. Let's have a look at this.
What the hell is going on? I can't believe what the country's come to. I can't believe what the judicial system has come to. How is this okay? XMP avoids jail for making CA video with one victim aged 12 months. You disgusting, horrible. I'm not even going to call you a human being because you're not. You're an absolute monster. How does this little wrong'un get away with, here we go, an 8 months suspended sentence for 2 years? 8 months prison, suspended for 2 years. Oh no, is he got to do 150 hours of unpaid work? Oh, poor you. He wants burying. That's what he needs. Absolutely disgusting. There you go. That's the world we live in, people.
Yeah. It kind of speaks for itself. I mean, as you know, I mean, I've dealt with people that have had, you know, been victims of abuse and SRA and all the rest of it. And, you know, nothing, and I mean seriously, nothing, no matter what you say. And, yeah. Again, you know, what are we going to do? What are we going to say?
Well,
You know,
that's
when
it,
we-
isn't it? Well, Katie Hopkins, she's actually weighed in on her batshit bonkers Britain. She succinctly put it this way as well.
Batshit bonkers Britain, where the genius that is Keir Starmer has decided to launch Operation Early Dawn. And because our prisons are so full to bursting, which he knew already, and then he decided to send about 400 people to prison for the crime of showing up at a protest, looting lush, or writing hurty words on Twitter, there's literally nowhere to put anyone anymore. What this also means is that tomorrow, two-tier Keir will start to release prisoners early if they've served 40% of their sentence. So if you're a genuine bad guy, committed murder, maybe you stabbed a few people, you'll be let go super early so that Grandma Sue, who wrote a very naughty thing on Facebook, can spend time in the slammer as she deserves. In other news, we find out that the head of the fire service has said that the residents of Grenfell Tower who burned alive in their block were told to stay in place for too long. Yeah, it's hardly up there with Newton's theory, is it, dear? We do know that that's what happened. What you're not talking about is what happened to the 100 people in that building who weren't supposed to be there that no one wants to talk about. Finally, the royals, Meghan and Harry, faux royal tour to Colombia, so tragic. Prince Harry is now looking like someone who accidentally ripped up a winning lottery ticket and is now drinking Diamond White in the Dodgems in Skegness. That's it.
She's brilliant.
She is brilliant, but look, there's a lot of truth in every good bit of humour has an element of truth in it, and you know, it's just it's really sad what's happening to Britain, the home of the Magna Carta, where the kings were told for the first time in their life that they weren't allowed to get away with anything that they wanted, that their word was not law, that they were accountable to the people, and now you've got the leadership ignoring the will of the people, importing them, and actually jailing the people who are protesting about it.
And the reason why that's happening, Caz, is because again, we've become so passive. It's quite, you know, we have become so sterile to all these things that it makes no bloody difference at all. You know, I don't know what it takes to get an arousal out of individuals these days. It's unbelievable. You know, you can talk about this stuff until we're blue in the face, but getting a reaction is another thing. You know, but we can still do this. You know, like I'm trying to stay optimistic here, but you know, we need to push forward. We need to let them know that it's not okay.
The thing about it is, though, is that they keep things from us, and that horrible story. I'm going to play it in a minute here. About the babies being left to die. You know, basically that's just shocked people, and I'll just play a bit of it, and then Babbitt put together a proposal.
Very uncomfortable truth that babies can be born in a hospital and given care if the intention of the mum is to have a live birth. But if the intention is for that to be an abortion, even though the fetus is viable, if it's born alive, it is left to die. That's not something we want to talk about, is it?
It's not, and in certain states and territories, that is exactly what happens. In Queensland at the moment and in Victoria, in those two states, between 2010 and 2020, it was almost one baby a week was born alive after an abortion and left to die. And in 2022 in Queensland, there were 42 babies left in that position without a legal right to care. I also broke the story of baby Xantha, a little baby girl born at 19 weeks. Now, she wasn't going to survive, but they shouldn't have dumped her in an empty hospital room and left her to die for 7 minutes on a metal kidney dish. You know, she deserved to be treated with dignity, to be picked up and held.
Wow.
It's horrendous, isn't it? Babbitt put out this, he says, today I'll be moving urgency motion in defence of babies who are born alive and shamefully left to die. They were rallying the troops. But a lot of this is because people don't know, and it's because of the mainstream media. The mainstream media make sure that they damn well don't let us know, because if Australians view, we're still on in Australians' mind, we're still on the fringe, we're still on the conspiracy thing. Once it's on the TV, they become outraged by it, you know, because it's like, oh my God, you know, this is, you know.
Well, that is in the mainstream though, Caz. That's the thing.
That's right.
You know, so why isn't anybody animated by it? I mean, like, honestly, I mean,
I know.
It's just crazy.
Oh, Dave, it's so loud when you come in. Hang on, let me just adjust your volume. Your volume is so overpowering.
Well, I don't know why, because it's the same computer I use every night. So
yeah. Well, it's
maybe
really
an echoey room, Caz. Maybe an echoey room. It's not the boat. Yeah. But anyway, guys, why are they getting you there, and how are they keeping you there? I'm just gonna, and then I'll get off again, right? These guys can finish the show. Income tax, stamp duty tax, capital gains tax, land tax, council tax, luxury car tax, payroll tax, fuel excise tax, alcohol excise tax, goods and services tax, Medicare levy tax, car registration taxes, exit taxes, driver's license taxes, boat registration taxes, pet registration taxes, fringe benefit tax, corporate tax, superannuation guarantee tax, temporary COVID tax, and soon to come, a monkeypox tax.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So but the thing about it is, as far as the babies go, like every country, every civilization knew, even when they went to war, they didn't actually kill the babies or the children. That was sacred, because they knew that once they did that, they lost the moral right to fight. Their troops would be demoralized, like their own troops would be demoralized if they saw them fight it, killing babies. But also it became, but also they lost in some cultures they called it the will of God, or something like that. So, and also the other thing about it is that if we allow babies this kind of death, like this is coming to you, you have to protect life, because it turns around and it comes to you. What you allow for other people. That's why we defend the lefties when they want to go out and protest against carbon tax and all that sort of stuff, because we have to protect their right to free speech. Otherwise, ours is not protected.
And you're absolutely right. But it all comes down to that morality, your moral compass.
That's right.
And, you know, I often say it, if God ain't in it, we're not going to win it. And sometimes we need to have that morality recalibrated. And the only thing that recalibrates my moral compass, or certainly stops me from saying the things I want to say as opposed to, is the fact that I've got the man upstairs keeping me under control. And if we don't have that alignment, it's got to come back down to, you know, it's all in your heart and spirit at the end of the day. It's not here anymore. It's what's left inside here. And that's the biggest problem. And we've lost that. We've lost this that sits right between our chest. You know, and that's the thing with the nation as well. It's got no heart. We're not beating the way that we should be beating.
Yeah, no, that's right, isn't it? Well, the thing is, though, I think that I still go back to if we like, I think that people just don't realise that this is the stuff that's going on, because they're, you know, they would be outraged, and once they know. Look, we're at 36, so I'm just going to bring in a few things that just happened at the DNC, and which is pretty interesting. And so the pro-Palestinians have surrounded. Now they broke through the first fence, and that was the second fence. So the Democratic National Convention, the people who don't believe in borders and walls and ID for voting, had two outer rim perimeters, and they had ID to go in. But must have stopped everybody from going in, because apparently this is the view from inside. It was pretty much empty. And what one of the influencers did, which is actually pretty outrageous, was she put this together with a Metallica concert to make it look like this was at the game. So that's the same convention center at a Metallica concert, and she's put it out as though it was at the DNC. So it's very interesting that this is what's going on, even from influencers. So yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now the other thing that's going on that is big news, of course, is the Zero Hedge investigation, that the first shot to hit Thomas Crooks, the man who sprayed 8 shots at the Butler, Pennsylvania rally, basically came from a local spot operator who was 100 yards away, and it wasn't from the sniper. So that story just keeps getting richer and richer every time. Like, it's just like, yeah, it's just
wow. Try to piece that one, eh?
That's right. Now, the other thing, of course, is that the Japan's top cancer doctor, he has come out and he's basically said that the COVID shots are essentially murder. And then on top of that, you've got this out of Germany, and it's basically saying that the kids who received the mRNA COVID vaccines had altered immune systems a year later. So it was basically pretty much straight away that their immune system was, you know, it was basically shot to pieces. And it's, yeah. But at least it is coming out, but it's still not getting mainstream traction. And it's something that I think that we probably need to have. But we are winning, of course, because we've often talked about the NGOs, and here is Nicaragua shutters 1,500 NGOs, most of them religious and government. So they've basically said, no, you're not coming in here anymore, because we know that the NGOs are used for nefarious purposes, and they're also used for destabilising governments.
And the other thing is too, Cass, on the local front, obviously the CEO of APRA has stepped aside. And I just read probably about an hour ago that the CEO from the Victorian Ambulance Service has also stepped down. So
Really?
they're in strife. Yeah, they're in strife. Yep.
Yeah. And of course, you've got the compensation. This is the final story for tonight, but it's pretty big. It's it's just incredible that there's so much of this stuff going on. So, and Daily Mail, I would say, is fairly mainstream, but thousands apply for government compensation over alleged harm caused by the COVID vaccines, with 97% of the successful claims related to AstraZeneca.
Yep.
All
Buckle
right,
up.
we're at time now. So if you want to wrap up, I'll grab our outro. So,
Fantastic.
any final words there?
Yeah, I've got a couple. Just want to make an announcement on the coast, on Central Coast. We've got an event with Pastor Paul, and just a bit of a let your hair down. He's going to be performing. We've got Did You Know Jake's going to actually have some have his Did You Know campaign all set up. We've got lucky door prizes and the whole bit. So if you'd like to get to that, that's on Sunday, September 22nd at 1 p.m. Down at Davistown. Now, my last, ranting, and it's not so much a rant. I think I've had my rant, but we haven't won anything. We were all sat here before the show started, and we're still in a fight, ladies and gentlemen. We really need to start pushing back. And whether it be at council meetings, whether you come and join me down at Mondays at Maggie's, or whatever it is, or even if you want to, take it upon yourself to, create some pushback, we need to start pushing back. We can't get comfortable now. And I've seen the people who represent us right now, and they're under duress. They're not going to let you know that, but I can tell that they're under duress. Now we need to front up. We need to front up in so many numbers, and really get galvanized. Come on, community groups. I don't care who you are. Even my former A1. Come and stand behind me, and let's push forward. All my cream puff mates, all of us, we just got to get there and do what we need to do. Get to our council meetings, and let's bring it down. Instead of waiting for someone else to do it, let's do it ourselves. I know we can do this. I genuinely believe that we can do it, but we need to galvanize and start getting, and start knocking down our neighbors' doors a little bit. Get to know your neighbors that you haven't spoken to for a while, and maybe share a little bit of insight to what's going on. Don't take them down the satanic route, for goodness sake. Just keep it local. So, that's it for me, Cazz.
Oh, very good. All right, I found this really cute. So we're being taken out by the Tourette's passenger meets Tourette's Uber driver.
I am.
Well, that's
great! Ah! Oh my God, do you have Tourette's too?
Oh my God! Do you have
Yes!
Fuck! Oh God!
Please!
Please!
But I don't have ticks!
Oh, oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Meow. Meow.
I have a cat. I respond to meows with quiet meow.
Oh, Mrs. Claus!
No!
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 Just fingernails.
I'm so glad you have such a great attitude about it.
I just think the life is too short to take seriously.
Yes. Yes.
This is me! You have a great day, ma'am.
You too.